Ni hao, dolo je. There I was, browsing through Steam, looking for something to play.
No, don't gift it to Split so you can claim he bought it for himself. No, do it. It will be funny.
Funny, you say? Then I saw Road to Empress, a full FMV game where you have to become the Empress of China using your wits and seductive nature. Can I become the Empress in Imperial China? I'd fucked it up big time when I tried it in 1811, and they are still looking for evidence I survived the boat inferno. I begin at the gates to the palace. Oh dear, girls, one of us is going to have to change. Oh, a childhood friend A, who immediately offers me a hairpin. I immediately don't trust her, and she drops the pin in front of the consort, no less. What a dumb clot! I thought it was funny here to pretend that the consort, who is basically one of the head concubines, was herself the dog, and the woman was just her handler, who's there to pick up her shit. Unfortunately, the pin takes her eye, and she says, "Oh, I sure love the peccary flower." I'm called to answer, and I figured that I'd help my homegirl out and say it's hers. This stupid bastard said it was mine, and that I called her fat and ugly. Ergo, she is head bitch, HB for short. This doesn't work particularly well on account of the consort not really caring whose it is, and sends both of us to be punished. Nice one, idiot. I guess just cleaning the floors. How unfortunate for a noble lady. No, they brand our heads with the hairpin. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus Christ! No, don't do it! No! My beauty!
I activate time travel jutsu, aka quick save, and immediately claim that someone else must have dropped it. HB interjects, it's like, nah, I saw her drop it, she's lying, and I get branded again. Okay, not just an innocent misunderstanding about court decorum. No, HB is outright gunning for me at this point. I also thought it would be funny to basically call the head consort old and fat as a test, and as you can imagine, it didn't go particularly well. I pick an alternate choice and saying that the pin was there before, and this lady is like, "Oh, that's my pin. I heard you love peccary flowers and brought it for you to try," trying to take all the credit like a real suck-up. "You seek to make your will upon me, low-rank scum. Take her away." Yikes, close one. We are led to lovely lodgings where we must choose who to board with. HB, perhaps? I figure technically this timeline character doesn't know that she's out for us, or at least is using us as a stepladder. With the intent to fully betray her at a later date and get revenge for other timeline me, we go sleepies. And what's this? Poison? Or at least an achy tum-tum, maybe. Oh no, how could I shit myself on the first day? At the Imperial Palace, no less. Who could have done it? Oh, right. Bastard. I see how it is. Okay, back to the question about rooming up. How about no? The girl from before comes stumbling in, branded. And I'm like, "Hey, did you know that she was going to react like that to the flower pin?" And she's like, "What? How could you possibly accuse me of this?" I fake being like, "Whoopsie-doodle, I'm sure it was an innocent mistake," and regrettably choose the lodging with the cool bloody handprints, just like the wolf cave. Unfortunately, I don't have a roomie, and HB easily bumps me off in the night. Shit. Okay, let's try and make some friends. And everyone is like, nah, except for this girl, who's like, "Don't worry, I have a measure of protection due to my family, so they can't do things to me." And we learn that my auntie is one of the head consorts. I named her Huey, and she's my best friend now. I would never betray Huey. Chapter 1 survived. It's time for the flower banquet. I pick the red dress, as she's an 8-tray blood, and we prepare for dinner. Kneeling HB steps on my dress, likely trying to make me fall. None of that thanks, and I stack her right on her fucking arse in front of the prince. Oh, he's so handsome. The other prince comes. Oh, he's so handsome. And the last prince. Yes, you guessed it. Oh, he's so handsome. Led in, we are introduced to the great and very handsome emperor, and we get a dance from the other head consort. I assume this is like an ancient Chinese version of twerking on it compilation, as he's well into it. She sits down, and this asshole is like, "Let's see what the new girl can do," and I'm given a few choices. I choose a splendid song option, rather than simple dance and terrible pika playing. I absolutely tear it up, and the emperor hits his button so his big chair spins around. Unfortunately, HB just decided to accuse me of orchestrating the plot against the girl who got branded earlier, as since then she's been hit with the big suey. Right, this is war. I dismantled her argument with facts and logic, and the dog woman gets admonished by the emperor. Unfortunately, after getting a nice gif, I immediately poisoned and died for being too much of a threat to the power dynamics of the court. Right, okay, let's try terrible Pika playing. I naturally disgrace my bloodline, much like I do in real life, though I imagine the guards outside going nuts in the pit. I'm sent home, and my family strangle me for being a massive fuck-up. I quickly test out what happens if you make a bad argument to the Emperor, and it involves either eating poisoned food and having tummy pain and die, or I starve and die. Tough choice. Let's go with the one closest to garlic bread. A simple dance is the way to go, and in my accusations, my sick and awesome auntie backs me up. I don't stand out, but I didn't die. The true British schooling experience. I go to my auntie and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll protect you." Wow, auntie, I'm sure I'm not just a political piece for you, and she's way too nice for what ruthless piece of shit you have to be to survive in the court, and hence why I will protect Huey at all costs. She gets me a sick job as the Empress Secretary, and I got a neat little fish token that lets me go anywhere he commands. After a night of frivolity, it appears the Crown Prince has upset the Emperor, and he's like, "This Shin fella must die." Oh dear. I'm told to basically bring him one of the old study books from Key Stage 3, but for princes instead. Okay, right. I'm working for Amazon now, but rather than delivering poorly disguised dildos and plumbing fittings, I'm admonishing the second most powerful person in China. Bollocks. I decide to eavesdrop on these two girls, and they basically just say how handsome the princes are. Unfortunately, if you get caught saying this stuff, you die, as you are supposed to be completely loyal to the Emperor and his shapely, so I'm told, penis. I get spotted.
"We ain't dropping no weaves, honest!"
Confound it all, Samwise Gamgee! Have you been eavesdropping?
I ain't been dropping no eaves, sir, honest.
But it's by one of the princes, the shithead one. Oh dear. He compliments me on my average dance, but he particularly liked it how I basically avoided dying horribly at the banquet, which is a weird compliment, but okay. Not the finest chat-up line I've ever heard, I admit. He tells me that he has a job for me to do, and it's to take a doctor to the Crown Prince when I go with the book. This is fishy. He basically says you don't have a choice, and I test this with quicksave magic, and say no, the Emperor will be displeased with me, and he just stabs me. The blurb after saying that no one questioned the cause of my death when I was found floating in the lake despite a stab wound. You know what? Sure, I'll deliver them. I head to the guard with this bloke, and he's like,
"Stop right there, criminal scum."
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch!
"Who's this?" I try the Emperor Said So card, and he's like, "The Emperor said this procedure," and we are both killed as spies and traitors. I go with how about the Whey Prince said so, not to be confused with the Whey Protein Prince, whose gains are coming along very nicely. He explicitly told me not to implicate him, but with the lack of options, I whip out his seal as proof. The sneaky little fang swiped it from the prince's belt earlier. Hoo-hoo! The guard gets out of the way, and I fully expected this guy to immediately murder the Crown Prince. But oh, I see, you saucy little devil. Your secret is safe with me, Crown Prince, as an LGBTQ ally. The prince is like, "Thank you, I really owe you one." Good, put that in the favour purse. I'm pretty knackered here, and I get back to my abode late, quickly popping in to see my auntie, who I hear is talking mad shit about me, basically saying how I'm disposable, like a chess pawn or plastic. Then she says, oh well, if she steps out of line, she can have my special poison soup. Hehehe. Okay, avoid the soup. Noted. In my attempts to flee, I bump into a serving girl, and not in a cool drag way, and the commotion is heard. Come with me if you want to live. We leg it and hide, and this one is going straight in the IOU purse. We avoid Auntie's gang, and the girl immediately tries to strangle me, rather than be like, "Thank you for helping me avoid the most horrible death unimaginable." She's after the plants that apparently make your skin nice to sell out of the palace. I have a few options. The first, to knock her out, which I do. Sadly, she wakes up and immediately snitches, thus I face the soup. Secondly, I call for help, intending to be like, "I saw her stealing the plant, don't kill me." They don't believe me, and kill me with the soup once more. Last option is to kill her, and a nice bonk with the rock into the well combo. Well. Sorry. I haul ass out of there, and of all people, HB is like, "Where have you been?" I politely tell her to go suck some eggs, that I don't know why you have it out for me, but out of our respect for our previous friendship, I haven't taken any action. But now we are at a flat neutral, so from now on, if she finna want to try something, it's on. This makes her somewhat back down, but this definitely isn't over. Apparently my dad did something that got her dad in a bunch of shit, so we'll see. I realised that I left my little fish token, but figured that sneaking back in would get me a one-way ticket to Soup Town, but I wanted to try tidy up my crime before the well begins to smell. Oh, yeah, soup. Should have known. I meet up with the Prince of Whey Protein to discuss what happened, and he's like, oh, here's your fish token, by the way. It wasn't easy to hide the body either. Oh, shit, I owe him. We have a little moment where he knew I stole his pendant, but he let it happen as a power play over me. You know what? I'm unironically enjoying this. The writing is actually sharper than I thought. He reveals that the boatman was actually Jin, and he works for him all along. They are using him to undermine the Crown Prince at court and manipulate him. They ask my opinion on what to do, and it admittedly feels like a test. I select the option to separate the ministers from the Crown Prince with the relationship, rather than inciting a rebellion. He's like, what are you, stupid? The ministers will go along with whichever way is winning. They don't care about what he does in the bedroom, so long as they get what they want. Surprisingly progressive ministers. Very nice. Seeing me as stupid, they bump me off the next morning when they send a Weedle to hit me with needle attack. Unfortunately, it's super effective. I reload and select Incite Rebellion. This makes more sense when she says it, as she says that by forcing an ultimatum between the Crown Prince and the Emperor, we basically can't lose. The best case is that he raises a rebellion, which we will immediately feed info of the planning to the guards, and force a new Crown Prince with him executed, or at the very least cast into exile. The Prince of Whey Protein, unfortunately, not the favourite of the Emperor, as that's the youngest prince, so good luck there. If the plan doesn't work, Jin flees, but the Crown Prince will harbour massive resentment to the Emperor and make things down the road potentially easier. He's pleased with this, and I go on my way. Not killed. Good. Unfortunately, whenever I go out at night, terrible things tend to happen, and I come across one of the head consorts cursing the Emperor's name. She's actually in an alliance with my auntie, which I'm not sure is a good thing anymore. And actually, it was her that encouraged me to perform at the banquet at the behest of my auntie, to gain favour and stick it to the dog woman. She was actually married to the Emperor's brother until the Emperor killed him in a battle. I don't think she's quite let it go. I'm thinking this is a trap, as who would loudly say this stuff aloud, but her reaction is pretty much to immediately murder me upon seeing me. I try to comfort her, and it gets me the stabby stab. So instead, I reload and provoke her, by instead basically calling her a right slag, and that if she really loved her husband, she'd have already killed the Emperor each time she crawled into his bedchambers.
You're even wearing his gifted Persian shoes, you whore.
This rattles her as she pulls them off, and I do what I like to call the ancient Chinese skedaddle technique. In my fleeing, I am grabbed and assisted by the youngest prince.
Oh, he's so handsome.
He just helps me for the sake of helping me. It seems he's the nicest one, so I thank him with a big I owe you dog, which he really likes based on his opinion points of me skyrocketing. I'm sure hope I'm not being tricked again in my naivety. I have the option here of 3 people to run to. The Emperor, who I think would just be an idiot and be like, well, why would I trust a lowly Kairen, which I hope isn't pronounced Karen? She could have killed me at any point in these past years. Good point. I thought going to the dog woman would be interesting, as she knows that the stabby consort and my auntie are in an alliance, but stepping into her and HB would be like stepping into a den of vipers and crack. I go with auntie, as I think the alliance between them would stay her blade. It seems to work, and my auntie is like, you know what you need? Oh god, please no. Some soup.
Oh fuck no, please.
Tasty. I run back into the Prince of Whey, and he's like, you've been a great help. I tell him that our plot is done, and I'm not under his thumb anymore. Bit of a problem here. I think helping the youngest prince, who could well become the crown prince, could bite me in the ass, as the Prince of Whey Protein could just dob me in at any point for bringing Jin to the crown prince, which that guard definitely saw me do, and used the prince's seal that he could just say I stole, which, I kinda did. Maybe sticking with him is the best way to dance around his very stabby nature, which I very much haven't forgotten about, by the way. We get a scene where Jin reveals to the arrested crown prince post-rebellion failure that he was a spy the whole time. this comes across as just cruel, but Jin could actually have feelings for the Crown Prince all along. He is so handsome after all. Sucks to be the pair of them, as naturally the Prince of Whey Protein wasn't going to let Jin live, so they both get executed. What a fucking idiot. Another chapter survived. Will Wolf survive the palace, or will he be given the dreaded soup? Find out next time on I Will Only Do Another One of These, if people enjoy it. Bye.